Okay, so here's how I would analyze the Excel data. Once we have this nicely cleaned pupil data, where again, this is the baseline, how big their pupil was at the beginning of the trial, and then we should probably create another variable. Someone remind me to do that if I forget, of average pupil size across the entire trial. But yeah, and then this is the last 250 milliseconds, the last 500, last 1,000, the last 2,000 milliseconds, because I wasn't sure which one to choose. So I would select, by the way, in Excel, you hit Shift, Control, down arrow, and it jumps to the rest of a section like I'm doing. Okay, so I've selected all the data that I have, and then I would go to click on the Data tab up here, and then go to Sort, and then select column B. I'm pretty sure that this is which face it is. Well, the deal is that, look, see there's a 50 here, a bunch of 50s, and then a bunch of 50s down here. See it says 5 in 2 and B, and 1 in B for these 50s. These 50s are a 1 ski, these are a 5 ski. What I'm pretty sure the case is there's some numbering system, but 50 is probably the emotion happiness, for example. I don't know which emotion it is, but it's one of the 4 emotions we have. We had happy, sad, angry, afraid, I think. And 1 is probably the lady or the man. I think it might be the man angry. And 5 is the lady angry. And then 2 is the man face happy, and 6 is the woman face happy. Okay, so it's gender. So one interesting thing to look at is going to be, is it different for when you're looking at a man versus when you're looking at a woman? Evolutionarily, you could say maybe the man is more threatening. So it could have an effect on pupil stuff unconsciously. Be interesting. Let's look at that first, in fact. So I'm going to take the average of all the, let's just do all the man trials. If I'm right about that, which I think I am. Okay, so it's the first 20. And then I'll just take the same, I'll copy those formulas down, and notice when I double click, it's now selecting the bottom 20 because it's a relative position of where, see this cell is taking these 20, it takes that same row and then 20 below. So if I copy this formula, Control C, and I paste it down here, Control V, it keeps the relative position. So it's a fast way to make a lot of formulas if you're very careful. It's easy to mess up. I've been doing this for a long time. And so I'm able to go fast and not mess up usually. But just be careful you don't accidentally, make sure the formula you think you have is the formula you have. So I'm always, when I work with Excel, double clicking and making sure the cells I think I'm selecting that I'm really selecting. So I'm just looking at these quick, and I'm seeing that at the beginning, you know, the man, you can't really tell anything with averages. You really need the standard deviation as well. And then from that, I always divide by the square root of the number of observations to give me the standard error, this is called. And then I might know if there's any real difference. So the standard error is about 1. See, it's 0.75, 0.97, 0.97, 0.5, 0.5. So it's a little less than 1, actually, in some cases. It's funky. But so do we have if you have a real difference between your averages, these are the averages, it should be at least one standard error apart. So this is 3.7, this is 38.7 and 37.5. The standard error is 1. So yeah, these are probably statistically different if I did a t-test on the first 20 and the second 20. Two-tailed, don't assume equal variances. Oh, it's not significant, sorry. All right. So I don't think there's too much of a difference between the man and the woman. Stimulus. Okay. What about we could look at emotions. You could do what you could do is say equals average, and then just now take the average of the first 5 trials, which are going to be all the 50s there, or the one skis. Take the average of the one skis. And then I go like this, I space it out, and I'm copying, I'm keeping my relative positions. So see now this is taking these guys, this is the 5 skis, it looks like. So now to be careful, to make sure I paste it in the right place, I select 5, so to keep my place mark, and then I go like that, bada bing. See, I lost my place mark. I'm going to repaste that so I don't lose my place. Bada boom. And now this is all lovely, and I like this. So now what I'm going to do is cut, Control X. Now if I cut, different than copy, if I cut, it does not keep the relative position in place. It keeps the absolute formula that you had in there. So I cut, I paste. I cut, I paste. So now watch this. So this is the first 5. Now if I copied and pasted this to here, watch, if I copy and paste it to there, now look, it's going to do the second 5 starting on row 2. But if I undo that, I hit Control Z, I undo. I remember this I had cut and paste, and so now it's, oh Lord have mercy. Oh yeah, I didn't undo enough. So now it's 6 through 10. And then the third one is 11 through 15. So this is for each of my 8 emotions. My little score here. Now if I were you, I would probably go like this. I'd Control X, Control X. Whoops. Control X. And I'm going to put these all, I like them to be in a row, because then what I can do is then just enter. I'll just copy these babies. Oops, I see I messed up. Control X. Control V. Okay. So now I have my, and look at this. See, it's the second 5, the third set of 5, the fourth set of 5. So now I can take this. I'll create a new Excel sheet. I'll save it as master pupe. Put in the line rudder. And then I'll go back here and I'll just what I'll do too is I'll go like this. Control X. I'll put it out one more and I'll say equal sign. And I'll refer back to this one, column X, which is has the subject ID in it. So now what you can do is just copy and paste this here. Oops. And notice it's trying to refer to cells that are to the left of it and stuff that don't exist because I'm on column A, so that's not good. So delete. I forgot to do something. You have to Control C, but then when you go back to this other one, you hit Alt E S V, which is, there's another way to do it, but it's paste special and go to the values. Then you're going to paste the actual values that were there, not the formulas, and you see there's no formula here, it's just these values. This is what we want in our master sheet. So we're going to have a row for each subject, and we're going to have these lovely data for each of our 8 conditions. Now, that was just for the first, that's just for the baseline size. Holy crow. I'm realizing there's going to be a lot of data if we do it this way. That's just for the baseline size. Then we'll have another set of 8 variables for like the last 250 milliseconds. And then we'll have another one for the percentage difference between the baseline and the 250 milliseconds. We're getting to a lot of variables. All right, I have to go. I'll send you another video on Monday, but this will be the type of thing you'll be working on.